I find it interesting that whenever you have an idea that's not part of the mainstream, it always gets labeled as pseudoscience or as a hoax or something else. And I've seen this happen again and again. Whenever the idea is slightly different, they always use the idea of ridicule to punch, the idea down into the ground. But the truth will come out. Sooner or later, everybody's going to know the truth. And the truth is that it's a lot stranger than anything somebody would make up. In other words, let's go into detail on this. Back in the 90s, as the economy was supposedly improving, but I would hazard a guess that it wasn't really improving, the internet took off. And a lot of people said, well, the internet is going to cause all the malls to close. The malls will all be closed in a few years. Well, here we are in 2015, the malls are not closed. And they said, well, it's not going to close overnight, but pretty soon all the malls will be closed. Well, I can assure you they have not closed. But the interesting thing is that they were right in a way, that the internet would gobble more and more of a market share. And they saw that the internet was kind of like an online catalog where you could order things. And that's basically what it's become, because if you remember in the 90s, the internet was not an online catalog. People mostly used the internet kind of like a library. They would go in there and they would look at stuff, and it was kind of like a library. And one person said, well, libraries are boring. I never go to libraries. But the internet has morphed into kind of like a mall, sort of, where you can buy things. And you can have them delivered right to your doorstep. So in a way, the people who said that the malls would close, they weren't that far away from the truth. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but you can sort of see the writing on the wall. I mean, companies like Amazon have gobbled up a lot of the market that used to be part of the retail store. And you're going to see more and more of this occur. In fact, a lot of stores are seeing that they can't compete anymore, and the reason's pretty simple. When you have a store, you have to keep the lights on. You have all these employees. And you have all these additional expenses, like you have to pay taxes. And you're typically in a mall, which is expensive. Each square foot of retail space, you're paying a pretty penny for it. And also you have to have a huge parking lot. And you have to have all this infrastructure, built in. All these roads and all this other stuff. And you don't need any of that when you have an online mall. So you can give a much lower price. And because you have a much lower price, like for example, Amazon has free shipping with Amazon Prime, I mean, it becomes a lot less expensive to buy stuff online than to go to the mall. Now, I know that going to the mall is a lot of fun because you can actually touch the item and see if it's really what you want. But mostly what I'm seeing is the mall is used as a kind of a showroom where people can see the items, and then they later on go into the internet and they buy the items. So the mall is getting whacked because they have to actually have the store there and physically show you the items, and then later on the person does not buy the items from that store, but buys them probably from like Amazon, and then they save all this money, but the store is getting crushed. So my idea basically goes like this. The one thing that helped the malls out a lot was that you could return items with no questions asked. Like for example, I'm talking about in the 90s, if I went into Office Depot because I bought a laptop and I didn't like it, I could just return it and say, no, this is not what I want. The battery only lasts 15 minutes, and you guys told me it was going to last 2 hours, and this is not what I want. And they would just give me my money back. But then later on they said all they would give me was store credit. Well, that doesn't cut it, guys. I'm sorry. Store credit? I'm sorry. So a lot of people said, well, if I'm going to buy an item, I might as well buy it over the internet. Because the convenience of buying the item from the mall was that, if you didn't like the item, you could just return it, and then the store would give you the money. But now, that's pretty much over. So what I'm seeing is that the mall is being squeezed out of existence. Already we've seen Amazon, how it's basically destroyed 2 stores. Blockbuster, because people were able to stream videos directly from Amazon. You might blame Netflix for that if you want, but basically I would say it's Amazon. Because if you wanted to buy a movie, you could just buy it through Amazon. If you wanted to stream it, you could stream it from Amazon. And so Blockbuster's gone, and the other is Borders. Again, you could just download the books through, the Kindle. Or if you want to buy the book made out of paper, you can just buy it from Amazon. Again, another store that I think was destroyed by Amazon was that one. And I would go as far as to say Radio Shack, which went bankrupt. That's another store that I think basically they couldn't survive due to, again, Amazon. And I mean, I think that you're going to see more stores, like probably Sears, JCPenney's, and more stores, hitting the exit button and leaving the scene. So, I see Amazon continuing to grow, becoming more powerful, and more of a, giant, store that has all kinds of things. At one time it was just a bookstore. And I see that it will have its influence grow instead of shrink over the years. I mean, we've seen how quickly Amazon has grown, and we see that it will continue to grow more. And I don't think Amazon's the only one. I think that you're going to see the same phenomenon throughout the entire internet, where you're going to see more and more people buying things on the internet instead of buying them, in a physical retail store. I think physical stores are basically being phased out. They're too expensive, for one. You have to have all these employees there. I mean, let's face it, I can order things automatically from Amazon without talking to a person. I don't have to, swipe my credit card. I mean, my information's already inside the computer. All I have to do is just click the buy button, and that's it. I've bought the item. And they send it to me, and it gets there really quick. So, I mean, I don't see Amazon shrinking, but I do see them growing. And I see a much bigger influence, of the internet in having the malls slowly fade away. Because, see, a lot of people will say, well, the mall has a movie house. Well, people don't watch movies anymore. They just, download them over the internet. And they say, well, the mall has a thing for video games. A video game arcade. No, nobody does that. They just play games, right on their computer. So, I mean, the mall, what it used to be, is being phased out. Anything that you could buy in the mall, you can pretty much buy, through Amazon. You can just buy whatever item it is you want. It doesn't matter where it's a hat or a pair of shoes or a billfold. It doesn't matter. Especially electronic items I see are being, bought over the internet, because you can buy items from Amazon for a lot less money. So as a matter of fact, you're going to say, well, why should I buy items over on, the physical store when I can get them over the internet for a lot less money? It doesn't make any sense. So you're going to see more stores being phased out, and already the mall is in trouble. So once you see stores like Sears and JCPenney hit the exit button and leave the scene, I don't think the mall is going to be around much longer after that. I mean, it might be around a few years, but not too many, because those were the big anchor stores, and the people are buying everything over the internet. It doesn't matter whether it's a bicycle, it doesn't matter where it's a swing set. They don't care. They just buy it over the internet. It arrives in a box, and that's it. That's the end of the story.